Thank you for being patient. Good morning everyone and welcome to our Building Services Engineering DfE Review Funding webinar. Today's host will be myself, David Pye, Rob Mallender and Salim Visram. Before we start, I'd like to explain a few things about our webinar platform to allow you to get the most out of the session. All viewers will be in listen-only mode, which should stop any unnecessary background noise. However, to engage with the webinar, please use the on-screen panel. The on-screen panel gives you the opportunity to type in your questions. Please feel free to type in your questions throughout the webinar and we will attempt to ensure we answer all questions before we close. Now let's look at today's agenda. So our agenda, we'll start with introductions, move on to the emerging changes, and what does this mean for the providers? We'll work on to how we can help as a team to support you. We'll look at some frequently asked questions. We'll then close the official part of the webinar and we'll try and answer all questions.
Thanks, David. My name is Salim Visram, Lead Industry Manager for Building Services Engineering.
Hi everyone, I'm Rob Mallender, Technical Advisor for Building Services, and you can see my email address on the slide there.
Hi, my name is David Pye and I'm one of the Technical Advisors for Building Services. Please see my email on the screen. Now let's move on to the next slide. Emerging changes in technical education. The government's aim is to create an ambitious technical education system, one that stretches students and supports their personal development. It needs to lay the foundations for continuing education, technical excellence and high quality employment throughout their adult lives. To support this vision, they want a simplified qualification system that everyone understands and in which they have confidence. These proposals follow a review of post-16 qualifications as shown on this slide. So what impact does this have on the current qualifications? Well, it will impact learners. You can see the age groups on the slide: 16 to 18, full-time study, 19 plus legal entitlement and 24 plus learner loans. It will affect choice, the removal of 34 pre-existing qualifications from the funding list. So what options do we have? Well, we do have our technical qualifications and there are some pre-existing alternatives which will still be funded. Moving to technical qualifications will help providers get ready for the future by preparing them for T-levels. The T-levels have very similar methodology to technicals. Providers need to be aware of this for their planning. There's curriculum changes from September 2020 that will be happening due to the funding changes. So we will help you plan for those changes. And where will learners progress from and to will be affected by these funding changes. So which qualifications in building services will be affected? The Level 3 Diploma in Plumbing Studies, the 6035, and the Level 3 Diploma in Electrical Installations, the 2365, at Level 3 only. So what does this mean for you as providers and how can we help? Some key dates. Between now and January, we need to be identifying the options for learners and build that into our curriculum planning. From January, if you don't have qualification approval for the technicals, you will need to apply for qualification approval. And between February and April, we'll be running some group onboarding networks throughout England. Please try and come along to those or contact your technical advisor for some face-to-face or Skype support. So how will we support centres affected by this change? Well, first of all, support with curriculum planning. Learners progressing from level 2 into a level 3 technical, we will support with that process. We need to check that providers have approval to run the new courses. If not, we will support you in applying for that approval to run technicals next year. And then support with delivery. We have around 10 group onboarding networks planned across England. Please try to attend these sessions to help prepare for delivery. A list of the onboarding networks will be in the next newsletter and advertised through Eventbrite, SmartScreen and LinkedIn. The support sessions will take you through delivering and assessing the technical qualifications. Some frequently asked questions. Does it affect all subject areas? Not necessarily. Most areas and most sectors have been impacted by the funding change, but there are some current VRQs that will still be funded next year. Does it affect the whole of the UK? Not at this moment in time. All the funding changes we've been discussing are affecting England only. Will the affected qualifications be retired? No. The qualifications, the 2365 and the 6035 level 3 will still be available. So you could still run those at full cost, or if you could attract funding from elsewhere, they are still available to run, but they won't be funded. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate your time. We can see that some questions have come through. What we'll do now, we'll pause just for 2 or 3 minutes whilst we collate all the questions, and then we'll attempt to answer them all. If you're not available to hear the answers to the questions, we will do an extended FAQ document following this webinar. Thank you very much. We'll be back with you in a moment.